welcome back. So this week on my little vlog, we're going to talk about recommendations. Now, I did notice that towards the beginning of the year, even the end of last year, in certain social media circles and in different chats, people were talking about how their sales had plummeted and they couldn't figure out why. And for most of us that have been doing eBay for a while, we actually noticed it earlier on. So I'm going to tell you guys how I jump-started my sales and how I convinced the algorithm to be in my favor. And if it can be in my favor, it can be in your favor too. Let's get into it. Okay, so finding out how the algorithms work, and there's a lot of people out there that say there are no algorithms, they don't work, there's nothing going on. Okay, that's fine. Scroll along. Then this video isn't for you. But I am simply sharing my experience with what I have found to be true within my own network of eBay, okay? So what I decided to do is I decided to not list. Are you hearing me? I did not list a single thing for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Now, you'll go into these different social media circles and they'll tell you, oh, you have to list every day. And I will out myself. I actually thought this too. That's because I wasn't really looking at what the algorithm was looking at, which was keeping the account active. So whether you're listing every day or answering messages every day or just being active every day on your eBay account, this is what triggers that algorithm to work in your favor. Okay, so yes, listing every day is a one surefire way to make this happen. But let's say you're in a snowstorm like we happen to be or were, and so I wasn't able to go out for several days to do any kind of sourcing. So there was nothing to do. So for 3 weeks, I did nothing but recommendations. Okay, so as you guys know, I have about 2,600 items listed on eBay. That's quite a bit of recommendations that I had to go through. So in that 3 weeks, I think I burned through over 400 of those. Just, I mean, every day I was hitting it, and going through and adding the recommendations. Now, it is one of the most tedious things that I have found that triggers this algorithm. So if you have any recommendations or you have a trick or a hack or a tip, share it in the comments. I want to know. I really, really do. I want to know. But for me, this is what I did. I went through each of my things and added the recommendations that it required. Yes, it took forever, and I would probably do 5 or 6 a day, possibly even more. And I'll tell you the reason why I can't really give you a number is because I'll put on some murder mystery show or one of my favorites, which is A Murder, She Wrote. Yes, I'm that lady. And I even like Matlock. And don't get me started on Perry Mason. It's one of my favorites, all-time favorites. Sherlock Holmes, yes. Okay, so anyway, I'll put on one of my shows and I'll just start adding the recommendations as I'm kind of watching. And so I can burn through a whole bunch without even really realizing that I've done, you know, however many. I think in one sitting, the most I've ever done was like 25 without actually realizing that I had done 25. And that's because adding these recommendations does suck a lot of time. It does take some time because they ask some of the craziest questions. What is the variant? What variant? So I just started putting COVID because I don't know what variant they're talking about. And then they'll ask, what league is this? So I put the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. They ask some of the craziest questions. What origin is this from? Earth. I don't know what, I don't know what a lot of these recommendations are asking. It's crazy. So I have just made it my own little fun thing to do. It'll say, what is the main source? And I'll put the Power of Grayskull. It's just, so you just kind of, I mean, if you want to, you can kind of do what I do. It makes it more fun and not so tedious and boring. But anyway, so this is kind of how I've hacked it to where my sales have just skyrocketed. I have had a fantastic end of the year and beginning of the new year. It has been amazing. So I'll tell you what the combination is that I am doing now. I will do some recommendations, and then I will pull back and say, okay, I'm going to list some. So I'll list maybe between 5 and 8 items, and then I'll go and do a couple of recommendations, 3, 4, 5. And like I said, I just kind of do them throughout the day, so it's not sucking all my time like whenever I was doing it for those 3 weeks straight to prove my point, to prove my theory. So that is how I boosted my sales, and that is how I have continued to boost my sales. So if you are wanting to boost your sales, that is going to be my recommendation to you. So you should be able to see a little place where you can click it, and it'll say add recommendations. And it'll tell you actually how many you have to add. I think I'm down to like, I only have like 230 now that I need to finish up. I've done all of the rest of them. Yay me! It took forever, it seems like, but it has totally changed the game. I tested it out for myself. If it worked for me, it'll work for you. And that's it for my video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you like this type of content and just kind of everyday things I post about my cat and my dog and different things that I do, different travels and stuff. If you like that kind of stuff and it's kind of an eclectic channel, please subscribe. Leave me a comment. I'll talk to you later. Bye.